Good evening, dear aspirants. I welcome you all on behalf of ACE Engineering Academy. I, Muhammad Waidullah, faculty at ACE Engineering Academy, will be discussing with you the subject Theory of Machines and Vibrations. Okay. Now guys, first question I would like to put across is a GATE really tough examination? So what type of questions will be asked in the GATE examination? Okay, let us see that. First question will be based on recalling the information. Some standard definition will be there, and then we are required to recall that information and then answer that question. Okay. Next is second type of question is comprehension type. So this type of questions will be testing our reading ability and understanding all those statements. So here we have seen multiple kind of statements will be given in a single question, and then out of those we are required to select how many number of statements are correct. Okay, or else we are required to relate statement 1 with statement 2. Okay, whether they are giving the correct explanation or whether they are individual explanations or they are false explanation. So that we will be finding in the comprehension type question. Third one is application. In the application, guys, there we are required to use the formula and substitution of values. Application of some formula will be given, and into that we have to plug in the values. That's it. Okay. And the fourth one is synthesis type question. This synthesis type question, guys, it will be either some part of the derivation or we need to derive some result. Okay. And one more thing to inform you guys that synthesis type of questions in the GATE examination will be around 30 to 35%. Okay, 30 to 35% of the questions will be synthesis based, but rest of these 70 to 65% is from these three. Okay, so because of this some of the students will be more focusing on this synthesis type question and then losing the attention over these three, which are quite simple, and then sometimes they also fail to qualify. So my request to all of you is that please chalk out a strategy which can get you a good number of marks. Okay, so please be careful here. Synthesis is having only this much of weightage, and rest will be 65% or 70 to 65% will be carried by this one. Okay. Now guys, let us see what all the topics we are going to discuss in this subject. Okay. Yeah. First is that we are in the GATE examination will be having 65 questions, and that we have to answer in 3 hours for 100 marks. Okay. And the time allotted for one question will be between 2 to 3 minutes, guys. It will be between 2 to 3 minutes, not more than this. So the question will be given in such a way. We have to be very careful. Okay. Now let us see the type of questions. Here, as this is very well known fact to all of you, we'll be having MCQ multiple choice questions or MSQ, that is multiple select question, or next will be numerical answer type. So in MCQ we'll be having negative marking, whereas in MSQ and numerical answer type will not be having the negative marking. Okay. Let us see the list of the topics what we are going to discuss in this subject. Okay. So here the first topic is analysis of the mechanisms. Next is flywheels, followed by gyroscope. Next is gear and gear trains, cam and followers, balancing of masses, governors, and mechanical vibrations. Now guys, here you can see some of the topics are being highlighted in the green color, and some of them are highlighted in the blue color. So what I mean to say, the green color topics are common with mechanical and production industrial engineering, guys, whereas the topics which are there in blue color ones is for only mechanical guys. Okay, so these are the topics which are the green color ones are the common for mechanical and production. Okay, and blue color ones are for only the mechanical guys. Right, now let us see from where, from which of the subtopics we can expect the questions. Okay, starting with analysis of, first is that we need to see the weightage analysis over last 30 years. What is the weightage analysis over these 8 topics? So in the mechanisms chapter, in the mechanisms topic, we can see here 33% of the questions were covered from this topic. Okay, so rarely there is a chance to miss the question from this chapter. Okay, so over last 30 years, we can see 33% of the questions are from this chapter. Next is, guys, another important topic is mechanical vibrations, which is having 35% of the questions being covered. Okay, so these 2 topics will be having maximum weightage in the examination, guys. And rarely there is a question being missed from here. So when you are completing these 2 topics, you can also claim that 60 to 70% of the subject is completed. Okay, student will be struggling mostly into these 2 topics. Okay, now let us see another topic. That is another topic which is the second most important is gear and gear trains. Okay, 14% of the questions are being asked from this topic. Okay, next is gyroscope, followed by balancing of masses, 3%, both are same. And next is cams, which is also 3%, governors 1%, and flywheels is 8%. So guys, what I would like to say is that the chapters gyroscope, balancing of masses, cams, governors, flywheels, these are very small topics. So the number of times the question being repeated from these 5 topics is less compared to the above 3 topics, that is mechanisms, mechanical vibrations, and gear trains. We'll be finding more frequently question being repeated from the above 3 topics. Okay, and one more trend I would like to share with you is that from the gyroscope chapter, from last 4 years consistently there is one question being repeated. Okay, and same is the trend with balancing also. From 2004, that is 16 onwards, 2016 or 17 onwards, there is a consistently question being repeatedly asked till the recent year from this chapter balancing of masses. Okay, and for cams, I can say alternate years or every 2 or 3 years, there is a question being asked from the cams chapter. Okay, and governor also very less number of questions being asked. But the trend what I can share is that last year there was a question from the governors, and even this year, the recent gate paper also, we have a question from the governors. Okay, so here I would say these 3 are the most important ones. First you have to complete all these 3 topics and then you can move to the smaller ones. Okay. Now let us see what all are the concepts we are going to study in all these topics. Under analysis of mechanisms, we have kinematic pair, next is degree of freedom, next is Grashoff's law, followed by inversions of the mechanism, next is quick return ratio, kinematic analysis, and dynamic analysis of crank slider mechanism. Dynamic analysis of only crank slider mechanism. So I'm specifically writing here the mechanism name also, guys. So now guys, here what type of questions we can expect from all these concepts. Let us try to understand. So here kinematic pair, in this we can expect a question which is based on recalling the information, or we can have a comprehension type. Comprehensive question we can have. And in the degree of freedom, there will be a question based on the, that is reasoning question will be there, or the application of the formula. Okay. So there might be a reasoning type question or application of the formula or application type question. Okay. Under Grashoff's law, even this is also one of the most important topics where there is a trend that Every year, consistently, the question is being repeated. In 2022, there was a question. In 2018-19, there was a question being asked from the Grashoff's law. So this is also a very, very important topic from this chapter, especially Grashoff's law. Over all these topics, special importance, or here this is being frequently repeated from the Grashoff's law. Next is inversions. Inversions, here we are going to study inversions of the 4-bar mechanism, crank slider mechanism and double slider mechanism. So we can expect a question which is of recalling type, recalling some information, or they might ask us the comprehensive type. Okay, comprehensive type question can be expected here. Okay, and quick return ratio, guys. Quick return ratio, we have 3 mechanisms in our syllabus. One is offset crank slider mechanism. Next one is crank and slotted lever mechanism. And next one is Whitworth quick return mechanism. So the question can be expected from here is calculation of quick return ratio or calculation of the stroke length. So it may be difficult for us to digest all the formulas. So what I advise is you to understand the working of mechanism, and it becomes, once you are understanding the working of the mechanism, then you can perform the small derivation and derive the results. Okay, so in the quick return ratio, we can expect a question which is based on application or synthesis, guys. Application or synthesis type question can be expected from this concept. Okay, next is kinematic analysis. This kinematic analysis includes velocity and acceleration analysis of the mechanisms, of the planar mechanisms. Now, in kinematic analysis, we are going to see, or in this part, we will be seeing 3 most important mechanisms. That is, one is 4-bar mechanism, next is the crank slider mechanism, and next one is the double slider mechanism. And sometimes they have given the importance to the crank and slotted lever mechanism, which is used in the shaper machine. So now, guys, what type of questions we are required to solve when we are dealing with this concept, kinematic analysis? Guys, the questions for velocity and acceleration analysis will be a special type of questions wherein you are required to use 1 or 2 trigonometric ratios and obtain all the data required to describe the position of the mechanism. Okay, it will be special cases. As I already mentioned, the time allotted is 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, time allotted is 2 to 3 minutes. Based on that only, the question will be framed. Okay, so don't unnecessarily try to solve the problems from any of the textbooks. That is serious advice. I would say you to solve the questions which are there in the classroom practice book or which are there for the GATE previous year questions, okay, or from the test series. Okay, so the question has to consume only 2 to 3 minutes of the time. That's it, not more than that. Okay, so while you are selecting here questions, please be careful. Next is dynamic analysis of the crank slider mechanism. So dynamic analysis of the crank slider mechanism, here you can expect a question based on the application or synthesis, application of some formula, or we need to derive something to reach a result. Okay, so these are all the questions from the chapter mechanisms, analysis of planar mechanisms. Okay, now let us move to next one. Next one is flywheels. So we'll be seeing the application of flywheels for 2 different things. That is, one is prime movers and next is punching press. Okay, so in flywheels, that is in prime movers part, we might be having a question which is based on either application or synthesis. Application of formula means here we are going to deal with the maximum fluctuation in kinetic energy. Okay, that is the most important parameter for while we are studying the flywheels, and sometimes the torque and crank angle diagram will be given to us. Okay, and then using that data we are required to understand what is the fluctuation in energy, what is the energy stored in the flywheel, what is the energy required to perform certain operation. Okay, what is the energy stored in one cycle also. So that graph, with that graph we can say we'll be getting a question which is of synthesis type. Okay, and similarly in the punching press application also we'll find the same trend of questions, either application or synthesis based questions. Okay, now moving to next topic, that is gyroscopic effect. So we'll be studying the gyroscopic effect on aeroplane and ships. So here this is purely based on application of the formula. Okay, application of formula. But here we should be also having the understanding of gyroscopic effect. Okay, what are the fundamentals involved while deriving this formula or while reaching this effect? What are the fundamentals involved? We need to have the information about that. Okay. Moving to next topic is gear and gear trains. In the gear and gear trains, we have classification of gears. Classification of gears, when we are dealing a question based on this topic, it will be based on purely recalling or comprehensive type question will be there. Theoretical question. Okay. Next is nomenclature of spur gears. In the nomenclature of spur gears, guys, we will be discussing the simple formulas will be there, or basically that way. Here we'll be having application based question. Okay. Next is interference. Interference in involute gears. This is also a very, very important topic from where we can expect a reasoning question which is of maybe comprehensive type or recalling type. Okay, very, very important one. Now guys, one more concept we are left is gear trains. Gear trains, from this concept guys, every single year or every alternate year, there is a question being consistently repeated from the gear trains. Okay. So when you are tackling the concept of gear trains, the question will be either application type or synthesis type. Sometimes they will be expecting us to derive the result. Okay. So both application and synthesis type questions can be expected from this concept. A stands for application and S stands for synthesis, guys. Okay. Next concept is cams. In that we have classification of cam and followers. So from here, again it is a theoretical part, so we can have a recalling or comprehensive type question. And next one is motion analysis of the follower. So in motion analysis of the follower, we will be dealing with especially numerical questions, okay, or derivation type questions, which we also call it as synthesis type question. Okay. Next is balancing of masses. In balancing of masses, guys, we have two topics, that is balancing of rotating masses. In that we'll be doing static and dynamic balancing. And next is, the next part of the chapter is balancing of reciprocating masses. So here more focus was being given to balancing of rotating masses. If you observe the questions right from 2017, more number of questions were asked from this topic only, and that too static balancing the questions were. Okay, and least preference was given to this topic, that is reciprocating masses. Okay, right. Let us move to next topic, that is governors. Governors, guys, here we can see the question being asked in the last year and the recent year only. So 2 or 3 questions are there from this chapter. So one is the question can be expected from the centrifugal governor. Under centrifugal governor we have different types. Watt governor is there, Porter governor is there, Hartnell and Hartung governors are there. Okay, so there we will be tackling with either application type question or synthesis type questions. Okay. Next is very, very important one, from the controlling force. In the governors chapter, this is the most important one where we can expect a question. The question may be either a comprehensive or an application type. Okay, so here we don't have any synthesis kind of a question. Okay, so some multiple statements will be given, and then corresponding to those statements we have to select the appropriate ones. Right. Let us move to next one. Next one is mechanical vibrations, which is comprising of undamped free vibrations, damped free vibrations, forced vibrations, and whirling of shafts. So in this chapter, guys, we will be encountering all the types of question pattern, that is recalling, next is application, next is synthesis, and next is comprehensive type questions also will be there. Okay, so these are all the subtopics from where we can expect the question, but mechanical vibration, all the topics are equally important. There is no special preference being given to any of the topic. Okay, but whereas in previous ones we have seen, like in gears, gear trains was given special preference. Okay, now guys, let us list out the concepts we are required to study while we are dealing with this subject. Okay. Now guys, the first chapter involves with analysis of the planar mechanism. So in that mechanism, we'll be performing kinematic analysis. So that requires thorough understanding of vector algebra. Okay, vector algebra. Okay, in this vector algebra, we will be seeing the addition of vectors as well as cross product of the vectors, addition as well as multiplication. This multiplication involves cross product and dot product, guys. Without this, we cannot study the kinematic analysis of the mechanism. So we need to have the understanding of this vector algebra, right? Next, along with that, guys, we need to have the trigonometric knowledge of trigonometric relations which are used for the calculation of angles. Okay, trigonometric ratios. Ratios related to triangle. So here we'll be dealing with cosine rule, sine rule, all these things will be there. Okay, and in vector algebra, guys, we have parallelogram law of vectors is there, which is the most important one also. We'll be making the extensive usage of that also. Okay. Next, very important important topic is multiplication of vectors, cross product especially. Cross product. We will be making use of this cross product in not only in analysis of mechanism, guys. We'll be making use of this cross product in the another chapter, that is gyroscopic couple. Okay, very, very important, guys. Without this, we cannot solve the chapter gyroscopic couple. Okay, along with this, we are required to have the knowledge of resolution of forces, which you have already studied in engineering mechanics, guys. Resolution of forces. Okay, which you have already studied in the engineering mechanics. Next is, you are also required to have the knowledge of drawing free body diagrams. Okay, free body diagrams. So this is also required when we are tackling the problems from the chapter mechanical vibrations. Without this, it becomes difficult for us to solve. Okay, and even sometimes we'll be making use of this free body diagram while we are performing the kinematic analysis also. Okay, so thorough understanding of this is also required, guys. Next is Lambert's principle, guys. Lambert's principle, which you have already studied in the engineering mechanics. Okay, very, very important one. Even this is also important while solving the problems for mechanical vibrations. D'Alembert's principle is there. Next is conservation of energy. Even this is also very, very important while solving the problems. Okay, conservation of energy. Next is, guys, for solving some problems of mechanical vibrations, we need to have the background knowledge of deflections, which you have studied already in strength of material subject. Okay, so here basic knowledge or standard results of deflection. Standard results of deflection should be remembered, guys. So standard results in the sense means I will be saying cantilever carrying a point load at the free end, or cantilever carrying a uniformly distributed load. Okay, not like cantilever carrying a point load at the middle of the span, something like that. Those results are not required to be remembered. Okay, so standard results with point load at the free end, or in case of simply supported beam, carrying the point load at the center, or it is eccentric. Okay, and sometimes we'll be also taking the results which are related to uniformly distributed load. But if you are memorizing the results of uniformly varying load, that is not going to help out here. Okay, so that you have to study in strength of materials only. But when you are specially tackling the problems of mechanical vibrations, only standard results is more than enough. Okay, next is, apart from this, you need to also have the knowledge about calculation of moment of inertia. Moment of inertia, or I would say mass moment of inertia. Mass moment of inertia, very, very important when you are solving, or when we are making use of D'Alembert's principle or conservation of energy. Very, very important concept is there, guys. Okay, so this is another list, another addition in the list of concepts. Okay, and apart from these, guys, I would like to share one more additional thing which you are required to remember, that is differential equations. Differential equations. This is very, very important one. Now, guys, what is being done here in vibrations? Let me explain it to you. We are using the D'Alembert's principle to write the forces. Okay, we are using the D'Alembert's principle to write the forces, or algebraic summation of the forces will be the result of this D'Alembert's principle. And that algebraic equation is converted into differential equation, guys. We are converting this inertia force, whether it is an inertia force or inertial torque, we will be writing this as mass into acceleration. But this mass into acceleration, or this acceleration, will be represented as second order differential term. This will be represented as second order differential term. So now here, what is being done when you are moving from D'Alembert's principle, what you have solved in engineering mechanics, and when you are switching to vibrations, this algebraic equation is converted into differential equation. Okay, so once that algebraic equation is converted into differential equation, we are required to understand the response of the body for a given input force, how it is going to respond. Okay, so if in the differential equation we will be coming across the terms like complementary function and particular integral, we will be coming across those terms. Okay, but in the recent GATE examination, some plots were given to us. like plots of displacement versus time, guys. Displacement versus time. These plots were given to us. Okay. So once you have the thorough knowledge of the differential equations and how that solution of the differential equation can be represented in the graphical form, then only you can solve this question. Okay. So guys, this is the list of the concepts what you are required to remember when you are solving this subject. So now guys, you will be finding many of the concepts are in common with engineering mechanics. So first is that level 1 will be the engineering mechanics, and after that, once you have completed engineering mechanics, then you can switch on to this subject, guys. It becomes easier for you to solve. And parallelly, this term, that is differential equations, is also equally important. Okay. Now guys, let us see the weightage analysis, the weightage of this subject for GATE examination. So now here we can observe in the year 2019, there was about 9 marks being asked, and in another paper, it was about 11 marks. Okay. Similarly, in 2020, we can see here 6 marks in both the sets. Okay. Minimum being 6 marks and maximum being 11 marks. Okay. And in 21, the average marks was about 7 and this is 10 marks. Okay. 7 and 10 marks. Similarly, in 2022, we can see in both the sets, we were having the marks 8 marks. So on an average, guys, this subject will be contributing about 10 to 15% of total marks. Means here the technical part in the GATE examination will be of 70 to 72 marks. Okay. So this subject will be carrying a weightage of 7 to 10 marks or 7 to 9 marks. So which is approximately 10 to 15% of the weightage, guys. Okay. So very, very important subject also. Now let us see the weightage in the engineering services also. So in the engineering services, here in 2017, we can see there are 23 questions were asked from this subject, and ESE paper will be comprising of 150 questions. So for 150 questions means this is going to contribute about 15% of the marks. Okay, 15%, and in rest of the years, this subject has contributed only about 16, 15, 13 and 13, which means about 10 to 9% of weightage was being contributed from this subject. Okay. Similarly, for mains and prelims also, you can see highest marks was about 104. Okay, and that too in the year 2021. Okay. Now guys, one more thing I forgot to share. For the production and industrial engineering guys, this subject will be having a weightage between 2 to 3 marks only. 2 to 3 marks only. That is the weightage. Okay. And more number of questions for the production and industrial engineering. In that paper, we have observed the questions more from the analysis of the planar mechanisms. Okay. Right. Yeah. Now guys, the GATE 2023 will be conducted by the IIT Kanpur. Okay. And previously IIT Kanpur has conducted the GATE examination in these years, that is 2015, 2007, 2001 and 95 and 1989. Okay. These were the years. So what pattern they have followed? You can see here in the year 2015, they have given in the session 1, it was given for 7 marks, and in session 2, it was for 6 marks, and in session 3, it was given for about 8 marks. So on an average, the variation is about 7 marks only, guys. And in 2007, guys, this subject was given for 14 marks. But during that time, the weightage, the total marks of the GATE paper was about 150. So if it is 150, then 14 marks, 14 by 150 will be still 9% only. So please be careful here. Once again, please be careful here by seeing the statistics, it is between 10 to 15% only. Okay. Now guys, for the reference You can make use of the books like Amitabh Ghosh and Malik will be easier to start, and next will be, for the theory purpose, you can refer Thomas Bevan, and as well as you can make use of Joseph Shigley also.
My name is Gaurav Kumar. I have secured All India Rank 1 in GATE 22 in Electrical Engineering. I was enrolled in ACE Academy offline coaching. The ACE Academy really helped me develop a strong basic required for GATE exam. I was also enrolled in ACE Academy online test series. The questions in ACE Academy online test series were very good and helped me develop a strong temperament required for the exam. My tips for the future aspirants who are preparing for GATE exam will be that you should have a very clear plan and strategy, like how you have to approach the exam, and also believe in yourself and do hard work, because if you have a very good plan and clear strategy, and if you will work hard, you will definitely achieve your goal. Thank you. My name is Gaurav Kumar. I have secured All India Rank 1 in GATE 22 in Electrical Engineering. I was enrolled in ACE Academy offline coaching. The ACE Academy really helped me develop a strong basic required for GATE exam. I was also enrolled in ACE Academy online test series. The questions in ACE Academy online test series were very good and helped me develop a strong temperament required for the exam. My tips for the future aspirants who are preparing for GATE exam will be that you should have a very clear plan and strategy, like how you have to approach the exam, and also believe in yourself and do hard work, because if you have a very good plan and clear strategy, and if you will work hard, you will definitely achieve your goal. Thank you. My name is Gaurav Kumar. I have secured All India Rank 1 in GATE 22 in Electrical Engineering. I was enrolled in ACE Academy offline coaching. The ACE Academy really helped me develop a strong basic required for GATE exam. I was also enrolled in ACE Academy online test series. The questions in ACE Academy online test series were very good and helped me develop a strong temperament required for the exam. My tips for the future aspirants who are preparing for GATE exam will be that you should have a very clear plan and strategy, like how you have to approach the exam, and also believe in yourself and do hard work, because if you have a very good plan and clear strategy, and if you will work hard,